Oh my goodness, my friends, do I have a crazy video for you today? Oh my goodness. I have to record it now because I swear I'm not going to sleep tonight if I don't record it right away. I won't be able to sleep. I probably won't be able to sleep anyways, but oh my goodness. You're going to like this one, my friends. You're going to like this one. I just dawned on me a document I had found about 3 or 4 years ago, and I pulled up the document. Oh my goodness, guys. Taking a deep breath. My friends, this is going to be a crazy video for the XRP community. I am not kidding you. You're going to like this. How about I show you the Global Stablecoin Initiative from the IOSCO. That is, oh my goodness, that is the International Organization of Securities Commission. This is the same international body that technically the Securities Commission in the US is connected to. And they're literally talking about a global stablecoin, describing XRP to the T, and talking about how this global stablecoin would have a reserve fund, and these global financial institutions all over the world would hold assets that would back this global stablecoin. It would support this global stablecoin, and it describes XRP to the T, my friend, to the T, and it says that there would be this company that would be managing. This is probably going to be the most significant video, I think, that one of the most significant videos I've done for the XRP community so far. I really think so, guys. So before we get started, please like and subscribe. It really helps my channel, and I appreciate all the love that you guys have been showing me. It really means the world to me. Thank you so much, guys. I read the comments, and thank you so much. So let's get into it, guys. So like I said, this is the board of the International Organization of Securities Commission. So this is the international body that's connected to all the different security commissions in different nations, in different countries. So the Security Exchange Commission that's suing suing Ripple in what I believe is a staged lawsuit. I believe it's a fake lawsuit. And so this same organization that is suing Ripple, technically connected to this international body, this international body is talking about a global stablecoin. So right there it is. So the International Organization of Securities Commission. So we're going to scroll down here. So this is the Global Stablecoin Initiatives. My goodness, guys. Wait till you watch this. Whew. Executive summary. Global stablecoin initiatives may, depending on their structure, present features that are typical of regulated securities or other regulated financial instruments of services. This paper identifies possible implications that global stablecoin proposals could have for securities market regulators. The content includes some background to the genesis and development of the paper, together with an overview of different stablecoin designs and a hypothetical case study. Wait till you see this hypothetical case study. My friends, do not miss this video. My goodness, do not miss this video. So right here, in big bold here, right here, hypothetical case study, section 3. The paper then explores how existing IOSCO principles and standards could apply to global stablecoin proposals like the hypothetical case study. So they're literally trying to figure out how they're going to set the regulations globally to literally accommodate this global stablecoin is really what they're doing here, to accommodate this hypothetical case study. It's what they're doing. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, guys. This is crazy. And the IOSCO has carried out a separate preliminary analysis, termed ISO analysis, on the application of the CPMI IOSCO principles for financial market infrastructure, which is available at Annex 1. And I'm going to try to remember to show you also the document where it talks about the Regulated Liability Network, also being called the Unified Ledger, and the Regulated Internet Value. This organization is mentioned in the same page that they're working for the regulations for this new FMI. Oh my goodness. All right, the money shot, guys. One of many money shots in this video. My goodness. The hypothetical case study. A company, also known as company, capital C, company, and then they put comma and they put company with a capital C. A company has determined to design a platform using distributed ledger technology to issue a crypto asset, also known as coin, right here, coin, that is intended to act as a stablecoin. This stablecoin is intended to act as a means of exchange on the company's designed platform. And accessible also by third parties. Let me read that again. I'm sorry, because it's very important. This stablecoin is intended to act, and remember guys, this is about a global stablecoin. This is a global stablecoin initiative. This is not a local stablecoin. This coin is backed by global assets. Keep that in mind. Global stablecoin, not a regular stablecoin. All right? So let's read this again. This stablecoin is intended to act as a means of exchange on the company's designed platform. Kind of sounds like the XRP Ledger and RippleNet, doesn't it? As a means of exchange on the company's designed platform and accessible also by third party. The company and third-party participants in the platform intend to offer goods and services in exchange for coin. Company also anticipates that unaffiliated third-party developers will create use cases for the coin. Very interesting. Identical to XRP, my friend. This is XRP. This is Ripple. Ripple the company, XRP the coin. Don't get it mixed. Don't get it mixed, my friend. This is nothing else except but XRP and Ripple. Company Ripple has stated that coin will be backed by assets that are held in accounts at a number of global financial institutions, collectively the reserve fund. So this is crucial, guys. This is very crucial. So the coin is being backed by assets that are held in accounts at a number of global financial institutions, and collectively, this is what the reserve fund is. So collectively, all those accounts that hold assets that are backing this stable coin, this is called the reserve fund because it says collectively known as the reserve fund. So all of different accounts, number of global financial institutions. Sorry, let me rewind and just read it again. Company has stated that coin will be backed by assets that are held in account at a number of global financial institutions, collectively known as the reserve fund, that is managed by the company pursuant to policies set by its governance board, and that coin's market value will be maintained in line with the value of the assets held in the reserve fund. Keep this in mind. This is crazy, guys. This is crazy. This is what we've been saying. All the money. It's going to be, oh my goodness, this is crazy. So it says clearly here, the coin's market value, the value of the token, market value will be maintained in line with the value of the assets held in the reserve fund. So all of the XRPs, the value is equal to all of the assets that are held globally, backing the token, held collectively in the reserve fund. Like I said, different accounts globally, collectively together, represents the reserve fund. Oh, my goodness, guys. Wait till what I show you in this video. Whew. Under company's proposed ecosystem, the company will operate a permissioned blockchain that will use a consensus mechanism for keeping a record of transactional and ownership information of the coin. This would be RippleNet, because if it's permission, so this would be RippleNet itself. Company has stated that the reserve fund will be managed with the goal of value preservation and liquidity. Isn't that interesting? Oh my goodness. The company has stated that the reserve fund will be managed with the goal of value preservation. Okay, it's all about keeping value for this token. It's preserving its value and liquidity. What is Ripple? It's on-demand liquidity. That's their main product. It's all about fixing the global liquidity crisis because the central bankers are losing control. It's been planned for over 30 years. Okay, what's happening right now, what's being built by Ripple is exactly to the T what the Rising Phoenix article in The Economist magazine projected in 1988, my friends. It's when you read the article in The Economist magazine, it describes exactly what Ripple is doing. And that article talked about how this new global currency that would be responsible for trade and helping the FX market and provide global liquidity for the world would be best to be managed by the IMF. This is what the article basically described in 1988. And this is the year before David Schwartz, the chief cryptographer of Ripple, received what is technically the Bitcoin patent. If you Google search David Schwartz Bitcoin patent, you'll find a patent that he was awarded in 1989 when he worked for the most powerful three-letter agency in the world. And it's a patent on distributed computer systems. It's literally the Bitcoin patent. You can read it yourself. This is 1989. So you can, the Nakamoto story, complete BS. Oh my goodness. You just can't make this stuff up. You just can't make this stuff up. The reserve fund will be composed of low volatility currencies, bank deposits, and sovereign debt instruments. Sovereign debt, my friends, do you know how many trillions the sovereign debt market is? Sovereign debt? Just sovereign debt? Oh my goodness. Company expects that the financial instruments held in the reserve fund will be stable and liquid, and the value of which will be reflected in the total value of the outstanding number of coins through the authorized participant mechanism. Let me repeat that. Reserve fund will be stable and liquid, and the value of all these tokens, of which will be reflected in the the value of all the financial instruments that are held in the reserve fund will be stable and liquid, and the value of which will be reflected in the total value of the outstanding number of coins through the authorized participant mechanisms, which is what I explained a few minutes ago. So all of the financial instruments and the assets that are backing this token, the value of all of them will be equal to the total value of the outstanding number of coins. The company, so they say company instead of saying the company, right? Because it's so obvious when you say the company, right? Ripple, obviously, right? So company expects that there will be a number of other participants who will play a role in the ecosystem and the coin. These include intermediaries such as market makers, liquidity providers, and other authorized participants, also known as authorized participants with a capital A, capital P, who will play a central role in creating and redeeming. So they're not creating though. The tokens are already created. There's 100 billion XRP. They're already created. This is complete BS here. And redeeming the coin and making deposits to and receiving payments from the reserve fund. The role of these authorized participants would be for a stated purpose of maintaining the trading price of the coin at a value close to the value of the assets held in the reserve fund through the use of arbitrage. Let me repeat that. This is very, very important. The role of the other participants, authorized participants, would be for a stated purpose of maintaining the trading price of the coin at a value close to the value of the assets held in the reserve fund. And you go back up here, and it's earlier we read that it says the company has stated that the coin will be backed by assets that are held in accounts at a number of global financial institutions, collectively the reserve fund, that is managed by the company pursuant to the policy set by its governor board, so on and so forth. And the coin's market value will be maintained in line with the value of the assets, so that's all of the assets that are held in the reserve fund. Wait till I show you the David Schwartz stablecoin proposal. That's David Schwartz from Ripple. I'm going to show you where he proposed the stablecoins, and technically what he's describing is the global stablecoin. He's technically describing this paper here to the T. So we're going to jump here a bit. So right here, so authorized participants, right here. Crypto asset wallets will permit users to send and receive and store the coin. Coins will be transferred both through crypto asset trading platforms as well as in peer-to-peer transactions. Crypto asset trading platforms will purchase and sell the coin to and from authorized participants and end users in exchange for fiat currency or other cryptocurrencies or crypto assets, in most cases involving crypto asset trading platforms. The coin would be held in an omnibus wallet of the crypto asset trading platform with transfers between and among its customers recorded only on the books of the crypto asset trading platform. Such transfers of the coin would not be recorded on the company blockchain. Transfers through a crypto asset trading Transfers through a crypto asset trading platform will be reflected on the blockchain only if they are moved in or out of the crypto asset trading platform's omnibus wallet. Peer-to-peer transfers will be reflected on the company's blockchain. So, and again, it talks about global stablecoins can be designed, so on and so forth. So, does this sound to you like a hypothetical scenario? They're literally telling you exactly what the company is going to do. It's going to have a reserve fund. The cryptos are going to be backed by everything. They will be traded. There'll be this. Does this really sound like a hypothetical? This is complete BS. This is not a hypothetical. Oh my goodness. And this is all about creating the global regulatory framework so that this global stablecoin can get adoption. This is literally what this document is about. But they have to say it's a hypothetical case study because they can't just say in the document, like, this is what we're doing. So they have to word it as if it's a hypothetical case study. But really what they're doing here, they're discussing the rise of XRP, the rise of Ripple as a new global reserve currency, the new global stablecoin. And this, my friend, was published in 2020. March 2020, you're talking 5 years ago, which is 9 months before the Ripple lawsuit happened. This is 9 months before the SEC sued Ripple. That's why I tell you, in my opinion, this lawsuit is complete theater. Absolute complete theater. Give them an Oscar award. Seriously, give them 10 Oscar awards. They deserve it. Give them the awards. And I just want to show you something again that I showed a few seconds ago, just so we go back to the original talk, because I've been reading it quite a while here. So a company has determined to design a platform using distributed ledger technology to issue a crypto asset, a coin, that is intended to act as a stablecoin. This stablecoin is intended to act as a means of exchange. As a means of exchange. It's a bridge asset. It's a bridge token. It's an exchange. It's a currency. Oh my goodness. If you can't see this as XRP, I'm sorry. I mean, I can't help you. Then it says the company and third-party participants in the platform intend to offer goods and services. So when you look at the lawsuit, the Ripple lawsuit, SEC, there was 1,400. I think David Short said they had 1,400 contracts under NDA. So Ripple had 1,400 contracts with participants, with corporations and companies and banks and whatever. 1,400 contracts that they had to bring utility and liquidity, utility and use cases for the XRP ledger and RippleNet, for example. These are the participants right there. Well, some of them. Now we'll go right here. Mr. Man, shout out to Mr. Man XRP. It says Jeremy Allaire confirms that global stablecoin regulations already exist and that they're based on the G20 recommendations. Based on the G20 roadmap and recommendations in a document put out by the World Bank, CBDCs for cross-border payments, November 2021, they recommend XRP and XLM as stablecoins. However, not in the traditional sense of a stablecoin. They provide stability in terms of parity against fiat currencies. They are not a traditional stablecoin. So here, shout out to Crypto Darren. Both XRP and XLM are categorized as stablecoin platforms in IMF, World Bank, and BIS documents. So tell me, right now, XRP is not pegged to anything. It's not officially backed by anything. So why was the World Bank, and I wish I could find that document, but years ago, there's a document that came out, and it's a World Bank document, and it's showing that XRP was a supranational currency, and then we have other documents from the World Bank, IMF, and the BIS talking about XRP sometimes being like a stable coin. Why are they saying, what did they know 5 years ago that they're not telling us? Because they're already calling it a stable coin. It has been nothing but stable. XRP has not been stable the past 5 years. So again, if it's a stable coin, what is it backed by? What is it going to be backed by? Or what is it going to be pegged to? Because something that's stable has to be either backed by a certain asset or it has to be pegged to an asset. So what is it like? What did they know 5-7 years ago that they're not telling us, right? Because it's not, oh my goodness, guys. So right here, shout out to ISO 20022. Oh, that's a tough name, buddy. At Rohitiku246943. Sorry, buddy, your name is too long. Shout out to this guy right here. World Bank has recognized XRP as a stable coin designed specifically for facilitating cross-border payments, right? Oh my goodness, right here in the document, right here, talks about stablecoin for cross-border payment, 4 seconds, and handling 1,500 transactions every second. It can go much higher now. Stablecoin refers to a class of digital currencies that are of XRP, amount of XRP destroyed in the process. So stablecoin offers, talking about XRP for cross-border, and it's a stablecoin. Now, this document that I showed you right here that I read, the Global Stablecoin Initiatives, this is Global Stablecoin Initiatives, and then they give the hypothetical case study, right? This organization here, I'm going to show you, like I said, this is the Board of International Organization of Securities Commission. So look right here. So I asked Grok, what's the relationship with the SEC and the International Organization of Securities Commission? The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, is connected to the International Organization of Securities Commissions, the IOSCO. The SEC is an active member of IOSCO, a global organization that brings together securities regulators to promote investor protection. When they say investor protection, it's complete BS. So the regulations are not to protect us, it's to control us. Ensure fair and efficient markets, again, BS, and reduce systemic risk. The SEC participates in the IOSCO's initiatives, including standard setting, information sharing, and cooperation on cross-border regulatory issues. This connection helps align U.S. securities regulations with international standards and facilitates coordination on global financial market oversight. And this is the same organized, imagine the SEC suing Ripple, but then you've got the International Organization for the US, for the SEC, literally putting out a blueprint on how Ripple can be the next global stablecoin. You just backed by assets globally. You just can't make this stuff up. Do you really think this lawsuit is a real lawsuit, or is there something behind this lawsuit that is a bit fishy? I'll let you decide. I'm asking for a friend. I'm asking for a friend. Let me know in the comments there, and I'll tell my friend what you said. I'll pass him the message. Thank you. I appreciate it. Now, let's watch a video here. This is the XRPL stablecoin proposal by David Schwartz. This was put out 5 years ago. So this is literally around the same time that the IOSCO published this document, which is about 9 months before the lawsuit. Technically, what he's describing here is Ripple, the XRP, being a global stablecoin, because it would be backed by numerous assets that would be issued on the XRP ledger. So listen to this, my friend, and you tell me if this is not the global stablecoin, technically, if this is not a global stablecoin. Exactly what the IOSCO has just literally put out in their hypothetical scenario. Oh my goodness, you just can't make this stuff up.
A lot of questions about the stablecoin proposal, so I thought it might be means tokenized assets whose value are expected to remain constant, and questions about the stablecoin proposal. So I thought it might be helpful for me to walk through what I have in the design to give people about the stablecoin proposal. So I thought it might be helpful for me to walk through what I have in the design to give people a better idea of how I intended the system to work. So first of all, it's a collateralized stablecoin. That means tokenized assets whose value are expected to remain constant in some unit. So if it's a dollar stablecoin and you have 10 of it, you're expecting its value to remain stable at $10. These assets have a backing asset, in this case XRP. That means that there is something that is supposed to guarantee its value. Now, in some of those systems, you can actually redeem the stablecoin for the backing asset. In some, you can't. What's interesting about this proposal is that the stablecoins are perfectly liquid to XRP at face value on the ledger. So in other words, if you have $1 in a dollar stablecoin designed on the system, what you have is a $1 claim on XRP enforceable by the ledger's payment mechanics. And the reason that that's important is with some other stablecoin designs, if the stablecoin isn't popular, it won't necessarily be liquid. If it's not listed on an exchange, if it can't easily be deposited and withdrawn, it won't be that useful. By the design of this system, the stablecoins can be offered through the on-ledger decentralized exchange, and they spend like XRP. So you don't need to find some way to make them liquid. You can just spend them right on the ledger. And of course, they can be pegged to anything that someone can provide a price feed on. Fiat currencies are probably what people typically think of, like dollars and euros or whatever. But they can also be pegged to things like stocks or precious metals or any other value source. As long as someone can provide a price feed for it, you can have a stablecoin pegged to that value. So there are 5 critical components to the system. There's the operator, that's the person or entity that provides the price feed and creates the system. There's the price feed itself. There are the collateralized positions. These are the things that hold the collateral. Then there's the redemption process, which is the way that someone who holds the stablecoin converts it into XRP in a payment. And then there's a series of incentives to ensure that the stablecoin remains convertible to sufficient XRP to back its value. The stablecoin operator has to have an account on the XRP ledger, and they have to decide to operate specific stablecoin systems. So they might say, I'm going to provide a USD stablecoin, and that means that they're going to operate a price feed. There are also some system parameters that they tune to ensure the system stability. The price feed establishes the rate at which the stablecoin is exchanged for XRP, and it's also used to determine whether there's enough collateralization. A system parameter would be the collateralization level, the minimum to issue, which might be, let's say, 150%. And so if you have $150 worth of XRP locked up, you could issue $100 in a stable coin. The price feed also controls when a position can be taken over. We'll talk about that more later. It's part of the incentive system. Prices can include an expiration time for safety or where needed. So if the price is inaccurate, that might allow people to issue more of the stable coin than the system can collateralize, or that might allow people to redeem the stable coin and claim too much collateral. So it's critical that the price feed be accurate. The operator can provide a expiration time in the price, and if there's no price provided by the operator, then issuing and redeeming halts. Now, sometimes that's a good thing. So imagine if I wanted to issue a price feed pegged to Apple stock. It would be very odd if right around the time that Apple announced their earnings or while the market was closed and the
So what he's describing here, like I said, it's a global stablecoin, right? People can issue all types of different assets on the XRP ledger, and they would be backed by XRP. They're redeemable. They can go from that asset to XRP if you want to. So it's a backing. XRP is literally backing everything. My goodness. So I fast forwarded here to the 9-minute 20 mark. Talks about the system, how everything's being backed by XRP when you issue any type of token. And he said it's anything that you can provide a price feed for. So stocks, bonds, derivatives, gold, anything that you can tokenize, which is everything, right? So we're going to go right here, listen to this a bit more. I fast forwarded to a very important part here.
Again, in most cases, probably not necessary because of the system's incentives, but it can also just be used as a funding source for the operator. We want them to provide a good price feed, and if they're not getting paid to do it, it's difficult. The incentives might not be very good. So the system has a collection of operations. You can create a stablecoin system. If you're the operator, you can adjust the system parameters. You can manage your positions. If you have positions, you can create them, fund them, issue from them, pay them down, or release their funds. You can redeem a stable coin for XRP when you make a payment, and you can make offers to take over positions and recollateralize positions. So the operator has to create the system. They specify the currency and the initial system parameters, and that has to be done before any positions can be created. So if you want to create a dollar stablecoin, you have to set those parameters, and then you have to convince people that you're going to provide a reliable price feed. They can always adjust the price, and they're expected to adjust the price regularly to maintain the peg accurately. The system operator can also adjust other parameters, such as the tax rate and collateralization level. Now, you might think that they could raise the tax rate to kind of harm people using the system, but the tax only applies when XRP is in a position just by moving XRP into it, and if it doesn't exist, it will be created. The owner of a position can fund the position by placing more XRP in it as much as they want at any time. If there's any stablecoin issued from the position, that increases the collateralization rate. And we'll have that create a position if none exists, so you don't need a separate create operation. Issuing from the position is the only way to create any of a stablecoin. The position must be sufficiently collateralized after the issuance, so you can't issue so much of a stablecoin that you don't meet the minimum required collateralization rate to issue. And that will change the position's collateralization level. So for example, if you were collateralized at 200%, you had, let's say, $100 in XRP locked up and you only issued $50 of a stablecoin. If you issue more of the stablecoin, the collateralization level will drop. You can also pay down your position, which is the inverse of the issue operation. You have to have some of the stable coin, you put it into the position, and you've increased your collateralization level. You have to have sufficient stablecoin. The stablecoin is destroyed in the process. So just like issuing creates stablecoin, paying down a position destroys stablecoin. The owner of a position can also release funds from the position. This can open the XRP order book logic. Essentially, one synthetic offer will be injected into that order book that represents redemption against the collateral pool. That will redeem against the least collateralized positions first, eliminate them, and sort of cleaning out the junk. If there are reserve funds, it can even redeem against positions collateralized below 100%. But if
All right, my friends. So I don't want to get a copyright issue here if I let the video play too much. But this is the XRP Ledger stablecoin proposal. It's right on his YouTube channel, David Schwartz. All right, my friends. So guys, this is it for this one. Let me know your thoughts. Unbelievable, unbelievable, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Like I said, please like and subscribe. It really helps my channel. I appreciate all the love in the comments. It's unbelievable. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate all the support. And it's just really, really kind of you. I really appreciate it. So I'm wishing you a great night, great day, great evening, wherever you are. And again, thank you so much for watching, and God bless you. Thank you.